What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. In this video, I'm going to break down B2B relationship and how important B2B relationship is to increase your business revenue. Those of you that don't know me, I have flipped hundreds of homes across the United States. And my hopes of this video is just that you obtain some knowledge. And, if you like the video, great. And if you find some key components useful, fucking awesome. If not, totally cool too. You can click off the video. All good. So let's hop right into it. There's a beautiful quote by Mark Cuban. Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of the business relationship, not how much you can squeeze out of one deal. I see this a lot happen, specifically with new business owners or new individuals getting into real estate. They will do anything to squeeze the maximum amount out of the deal and not necessarily cultivate any relationship with that person that they're doing the transaction with. And this is just fucking mind-boggling to me because, whether you're virtual wholesaling or virtual doing real estate or you're in person doing real estate, trying to squeeze the max amount out of every deal kind of leaves a sour taste in the individual that you're working with. And, that's not privy to cultivating lasting B2B relationships. In my personal opinion, as long as you cultivate these personal B2B relationships and building lasting relationships, it'll serve you building lasting relationships that will serve this business and your other endeavors. It's not just about this business. It's not just about this particular transaction. It's about the longevity of you as a person, as a business owner, as a professional. If you're trying to squeeze everything out of one little deal, you're going to burn a lot of bridges that way. So my thought on this is don't do that. Bring value to the table. And when you bring value to the table, relationship is cultivated. Does it ever seem like you're working and grinding overtime, like banging calls? We often see people bragging about how they work 60 hours a week, work weekends, or spend most of the time in the office or in front of the computer. Does this consistent work actually accomplish something, or is it just a chest beating competition? The way to alleviate the 60-hour work week and endless hours on the computer is to build lasting relationships. 75% of all business typically comes from reoccurring customers and referrals. New business is generally fairly low in an established entity. I would argue working crazy hours rarely does anything for our production, and if anything, can make you feel sluggish and dull. I know some of you have been in the hamster wheel of just like grinding, and you don't actually get anywhere. In my experience, when I've done these things, I felt more sluggish. I felt more tired, and I was, drinking uppers, drinking coffee, to stay amped. And if we focus on the value building concept and building lasting relationships, not to say that these crazy work hours won't need to be emphasized at some point or another, but they don't have to be like always on the fucking calendar. Much time is spent on learning how to attract capital for deals and closing deals, but little time is spent in the form of this type of capital. My favorite type of capital, it is called social capital. Next slide. What is social capital? Social capital can be defined as a trust between two parties developed through regular interactions and business transactions. Social capital acts as the glue between your business, the value that you have in your business, and the connection and value that you bring to somebody else in their business. So Tyson, how do we build social capital? social capital and social capital can be defined in its simplest form. Social capital is familiarity, also known as frequency, honesty, and giving. That to me equals social capital. So let's go ahead and define familiarity and frequency, and then we'll hop into honesty, giving, to give you the total package of social capital. So what is familiarity? Most people won't consider doing business with a stranger just because it's a massive risk. You won't necessarily go out to a lender that you're requesting funds from, a private lender, and say, hey man, I want to do this business with you, blah, 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 and then ask for X amount of bucks. It's a huge risk on a venture capital level or private capital level, because they don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know what your morals are. You have not put in the groundwork necessary to make yourself known and actually build a solid relationship. Some people commit this sin out of ignorance, and a lot of people honestly just commit it out of plain laziness. Thank goodness that people are lazy and they're ignorant, because that, for me, allows me to focus more on social capital and creating that value. And it takes a considerable amount of time to develop relationships with other business vendors, private money lenders, construction, all that stuff. So to me, if the people in the world that are lazy and don't want to build relationships and just think that, they can go out there and do said and said thing and raise X amount of capital. And yeah, you can do those things, but you're not going to get very far and you're going to be capped. Next thing I want to hop into is honesty. This is kind of plain and simple. Everyone says they're honest, but if that was the case, there wouldn't be dishonest people in our world or our society. When I say honesty, I'm looking for you to tell every investor your deepest, darkest secrets. When I say honesty, I'm not saying, you got to tell everybody your secrets. However, it's important to clearly communicate your intentions, your values, and morals, and communicate exactly what's going on in the transaction or in the business so that everybody can be noted and then they can make a clear decision. Because I find too often that people don't clearly communicate, which ends up in a huge miscommunication and just sour patches in your mouth. The easiest way to break credibility with people is trying to play a role that we know everything. And I've seen this a lot. People act like they need to know everything. But the reality is, in this world, you don't know everything. And if you did, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing. So stop fucking acting like you know everything. If you don't know the answers to the questions or the answers to something, just be upfront and say, yo, I don't know what the answer is to this particular thing, but I'll get this answer for you. And to me, in my opinion, that allows the other individual to maybe do some research for you. And, if that person says, well, you should know this thing, you should know this. Well, then in all fairness, if somebody is accusing you that you should know something that you don't know, maybe that individual isn't the right person that you want to work with. The other aspect of honesty is knowing when to prioritize the needs of others over your own. That goes back to the value-driven piece. If you're giving value to people, you would obviously know what needs are going to be in front of yours so you can provide those needs to others. Giving, super awesome concept in regards of social capitalism. Giving. Successful business owners are like gardeners, but instead of nurturing plants, they nurture people by helping them grow and provide solutions to their problems without expecting something in return. Giving, like, what can I do to help your business flourish? What are your particular bottlenecks? Oh, those aren't our bottlenecks, and we're very proficient in your bottlenecks. So how about we co-collaborate? And here are some great tools, resources, some pros and cons of some things that we did to help you overcome some of your bottlenecks. And that, my friends, is social capitalism in its finest form. And this is ultimately how we create powerful B2B relationships with individuals. Obviously, when we do create those B2B relationships, in turn, the revenue of our business significantly increases because we're working off of referrals, we're working off of word of mouth, and we can show that, we are connected with our vendors, we are connected with other individuals in the community to help everyone grow. This isn't a competition. The moment that we switch from a competition mindset to a co-collaborative mindset, a lot of things will change for you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, share it. We'll see you on the next one.